Welcome once again to the newest edition of 3 In, 3 Out, the most unique Seahawks recap podcast in the multiverse. I am your host, Clinton Bonner, and I am joined by the one, the only, the great Brandon Schultz. And Brandon, I know that now that the preseason's over, we're winding down the 3 weeks, but Brandon, I got to ask, top of the show, we get done with the preseason. We're heading, we got this game coming up with the Broncos come to town. Of everything you just saw, who are you now most excited to watch? I asked this question on Twitter, not just to you. I put it out as a poll. Who are you now most excited to watch now that we got a little glimpse of this 2022 Seahawks team? What do you think?
I have my choice of the entire team.
Yes.
And who am I most excited to watch?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to say DK because I haven't seen any DK. I'm going through DK withdrawals, and
That's
so
tough.
I'm most excited to see our big playmaker on offense. He's our one superstar. I feel like on offense now. Maybe Penny can fit into that mold too. I'm gonna need to see a little bit more from him. If he can go back to last year's form through this first 5 games of the season, then I'm gonna be on board of the Penny train.
Yeah, why not? I was having lunch with my dad. Might have been, it was breakfast or whatever it was. Might have been yesterday morning. But
some sort of meal with your dad.
I was breaking bread with my father, and I was discussing, and he's a Giants fan, and we grew up in New York. But I was like, DK Metcalf, like he is the face of the organization now. Like it's the DK. So that's a great answer. It's the DK show. I miss the half shirts. I miss seeing the Hulkamaniac busting through.
What color hair is he going to wear week
one?
What
color hair? Will he have the binky? And, if we could leave off, here's the nice part, right? If we could leave off where Gino, our QB1, where he left off with the connection with DK, waxing the Jaguars. Oh, the Jaguars are bad. Yeah. And he threw the ball up and DK had a great game. And DK had better numbers than he did last season when Gino was the quarterback. So I love the answer, dude. So man, I'm fired up, and we had a lot of good hot takes on our our reaction show that you, me, and Adam were able to do. The show's so nice we had to do it twice, right? The other night after the Cowboys game, and with that, this is 3 and 3 out. So I would say anybody who wants to go look at the Myles Adams and the Alton Robinson takes and some of the other takes that we went through, sure, go watch the instant reaction.
Wait a second, Clinton. Myles Adams doesn't deserve to be on 3 in 3 out anymore. Has he elevated himself to not being a nook or cranny type player?
Listen, you do what he did for the whole preseason, and notice that you saw who was invited up to the podium to come speak after the game for the first time, right? So that dude, I had to say a lock for the 53 because I don't want to jinx anything. However, the dude's a lock for the 53. So yeah, he performed so well. He's not a nook and cranny on 3 and 3 out because he was just the star of the game. So
wow. Congratulations, Myles. I feel like
I agree. Thank you. I accept that on Myles's behalf, and the entire, Rice University where he went, and the Carolina Panthers for making him a UDFA, and then Seattle Seahawks for picking him up and then cutting him and then bringing him back. I accept the Myles Adams is fantastic award of 2022. Thank you, Brandon, very much.
You're welcome.
I did. Thank you. I do appreciate it. So it is 3 and 3 out, right? So we got to get to the nooks, the crannies, the whole thing already. And this was actually a pretty okay game. There was a lot of good to go look at, and it was a lot of fun. It was a good rewatch. So I'm going to dive right in. Actually, we have one rule on 3 and 3 out, Brandon. I'm not even going to make you say it. It's just the preseason. When we win, we start with an in. It's not an in, so we're going to start with an out. So let me just go right here, Brandon. Let me start at the top here. Number 1, my first out. Let's see. All right. Yeah, man. So here's the deal. I like what I'm seeing from the offensive line. Hard not to, right? Looks like we drafted 2 anchor tackles in the most recent draft who are going to start. Phenomenal. Cool. With that, it's 10-3, 7:32 to go in the second quarter. We're up 10-3, like I just said. We're at the 21-yard line. We're marching once again. It's 3rd and 1. And in this particular play, I always want people to maybe go back and rewatch it now if you got NFL Plus. And in this particular play, we're like tight formation. We even have Cade Brewer in as fullback, right? It's like, who the hell's Cade Brewer? Yeah, go watch him. We run the ball left to Homer, and it's just kind of like Parkinson misses. Brewer doesn't really do much out of the backfield. Even Cross doesn't really get his guy and kind of and seal him off. And Homer goes nowhere. And I'm just sitting there going, man, if we're going to be better than a 6-win team this year, and I hope we can be, I think we can be, we have got to be able to mow people down on the left-hand side. And it was just like one of those deflating disappointments that we didn't convert on that 3rd and 1. So the whole left-hand side takes it out early. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if I'm going to give the out, well, part of the thing that I saw in that particular play was a couple of offensive linemen looking like they were trying to get to the second level.
Yes.
When you only really need 1 yard. And Cross was one of the guys. I think the center, I don't think Blythe was in at that point.
No,
but,
it wasn't Blythe. Yeah.
I think the center, because it looked like the center got held trying to get to the second level, which was
you're the best. You're weird. The best. I have it right here in the writing. I was like, I didn't know if you're going to bring it up, but like, holy crap, it's Fuller. And my asterisk caveat was Fuller is attempting to get to the linebacker, and he's twisted around. He's really, really held. So, and
also,
then,
I don't think that holding on the defense should be a thing on a running play, like on the defensive line. I don't know, that bothers me. I just think that on running plays, whatever, let those guys grab a hold of each other however they want to grab them.
Sure. I mean, he definitely do-si-dos him and definitely stops him from getting to the second level. So, but if you don't want the flag, well, then you didn't get the flag. So that's good.
No, he got away with it. So
too,
I recognize that it was a penalty, but I also recognize the guys getting to the second level. Why are you not just pushing the dudes? You only need 1 yard. You don't need to break a big play. Although, I mean, it would have been nice. Yeah, I think if I'm going to put more blame on than anybody on that, it would be for Colby for not setting the edge well.
Yeah,
and for Ballore not being on the field, because that's the block that Ballore needs to make.
Give us Ballore. At least he can make maybe crack a joke or something at the line, like get the guy off his game. But it was, I'm not sure that Cade Brewer is very long for this team. We'll see on cut down day, of course. But it's just the tenacity and toughness that it's 3rd and 1. I want us to be able to get that. Now, the cool part was we actually go for it on 4th down, the very next play, probably atypical of what Carroll would do in the regular season, to be honest. And we get it, right? A little bootleg lock, and he hits Homer, who did a nice job staying on balance, and they convert there, and they end up with a field goal a little bit later that drive. But again, 3rd and 1, I want to be able to go student body left and blow them back off the ball a yard or two at least, and then let Homer or DJ or will be Walker and Penny just go get that tough yard. Didn't see it there, so a little disappointing, but that's okay. That's the first down. But we got lots of good to talk about too, Brandon. So why don't we get to one of these ins right here, man? What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go right back to the top here. So listen, you and Adam have made I'm going to say a living, dare I say, a Seahawks living, talking about the pocket thingy, right? Talking about for years and years and years, literally, which is insane and cool, but talking about the pocket thingy. So I want folks who have access to go rewatch these games. Quarter 1, 11-10 to go, 0-0 ball game. Geno's in shotgun. The ball's I think we crossed the 40. We're at the 40-yard line regardless, one way or another, but it's 3rd and 11. So 3rd and 11's been some bad territory for Seattle and frankly, it's bad territory for most teams. It's not like, it's not a Seattle thing, but I think we've struggled more than most, especially recently, last couple of years that is. So 3rd and 11 and Geno's in shotgun. It's a 4-man rush. And it's just this beautiful, like picture perfect umbrella of a pocket. And it's also the communication that you see there. You got Beefy Boy Haynes and you got Blythe, and Blythe is just a 4-man rush. So Blythe and Beefy Boy are taking one of the interior guys, and then there's like a little communication you could see, and then you could see Beefy Boy just kick down to help Cross, and he just pushes Cross's guy across Geno's face, gives him ample time, and then Geno steps up in the pocket and fires a freaking dart downfield to the guy who can catch passes, Tyler Lockett. It's like a 17-yard pass, 1st down. And to Geno's credit, he had Noah Fant wide open in the flat to the right, Homer wide open in the flat to the left, but like at the line of scrimmage. So it wasn't like 3rd and 11, let's check this down and go get a couple of yards. He took the opportunity, stepped up, fired it to Tyler Lockett. I'm rewatching that play and just like, that's it.
That's how you want 3rd down to operate for the Seahawks, right?
That's
and
it.
you have Tyler Lockett on the field. You have the line blocking well. And one of the things I think was good to recognize was the communication on that play, because initially I think Dallas showed the potential for blitz because they did have 5 guys up on the line right before the snap. The linebacker drops out, and yeah, you could see Blythe coming over, double teaming the guy along with Haynes, and then Haynes, you make sure that Blythe actually has the interior pass rusher there, and then goes in and gives some help to Cross. So yeah, that was a cool play to see, just because we're probably going to be in some 3rd and longs this season.
Yep.
And that's how you want to see things go. And it's proven that, okay, with Geno on the field and you have Tyler Lockett on the field, which is going to be more than having all the other 3rd, 4th, 5th string receivers that we have been watching throughout the preseason. Yeah, I can start to imagine it looking the way it's supposed to look when I see a play like that.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was crisp.
We found one play.
It's the Ghostbusters, when Annie Potts finally screams, "We got one!" Right? I mean, we got one. It was really, really nicely done, and it had the full allotment of players for the most part that we're actually going to see in a couple of Mondays from now. So that was the first in, man. So very, very happy to bring that to the forefront and celebrate it, because hey, of all the years, this might be the kind of season where we got to really celebrate these micro moments, because we're not sure how many W's there might be, but hopefully more than we expect. All right, let's move on to the second out. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, so second out here. This is the sober yin and raging yang of this one. I put it back to back on purpose. And again, I always like to wet the canvas, the little magic white, the liquid white, Bob Ross style. 2nd and 14. We're on our own 13-yard line. Late quarter 1. We're up 10-0. It's late Q1. And this is after Phil Haynes' second hold of the game. So got to point out that ain't great. And I'm a beefy boy truther, but second hold of the game backs him up. And on the 2nd and 14, Brandon, Locke is in now. He had that. This is just after the series where he had the touchdown pass. So he had the interception, had the touchdown. It's kind of going back and forth already. We know what the result was, but at the time we didn't, obviously. And we call this little out to the flat play where Travis Homer receives the ball 5 yards deep. He's 5 yard. We're on our 13-yard line on 2nd down. Yeah. And we're trying a dump off 5 yards deep to Travis Homer. And the thing is, I don't think it's on Drew Lock. I don't think it's definitely not on Travis Homer. He actually makes a guy miss and gets a yard, right, where it should have been a tackle for a loss of three.
There's a couple different people you could put this play on.
Yeah.
But are you putting it on the play call itself?
I think it's the play call, man. Like, I mean, what'd you see on the right-hand side that makes you think differently? Because it didn't look to me like that was the hot read, and he was supposed to go there. He was supposed to throw the ball there and not.
I think he was supposed to go there because the guy who came up to make the tackle normally would have carried with the receiver that was traveling on the outside, but because the corner was facing the quarterback, he could see that Locke was dumping it off as soon as he made that throw. So it was easy for him to come up and try and make that play. And I don't necessarily think that part of it is an issue either, because with Homer or whoever catches that pass, you kind of want him to make one guy miss, right? So if it's that guy,
he did.
And he did, yeah. But it held him up just enough that the next guy was able to get to him. And it was the guy that, who was the other receiver that was out there on the field not blocking?
On the right hand side.
It was Freddie Swain.
Okay, that was Swain.
So Swain just gives his dude like just a little bit of a push, and the guy's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess if you're just going to push me, I'll just use my momentum to carry around the outside and then make the cleanup tackle," which is what he did. And so, if I'm going to give it to somebody, I give it to Swain for a pretty terrible block.
Okay, sounds like we could put this into a hodgepodge, and maybe it's the play call and maybe it's Swain. I just don't love 2nd and 14 when you got your guy out there. Again, you're trying to give your dude a chance to go show can he be the guy, and it's an early give up play, and I really was like, come on.
You would have preferred for him to go downfield to attempt another intercepted pass.
That's what he did the very next play. And yes, let's do that twice because one of them might have hit. So all right, that's the second out. Let's bounce over to the second in.
All right, good. We need to get some more ins in.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right. Let us do this. Okay. This one's kind of, I think, nice and tidy. I'll go here real quick. So the D Eskridge difference, I could pick apart D Eskridge on that interception. He's got, I mean, it's Drew Locks. He's got to come back to the ball a bit. So he made it way too easy. Fine. The D Eskridge difference in punt returns was already nice, right? There was 2 punt returns early. One of them, he has a chance. He has a little bit of room. He takes it for what, 13, 14, 15 yards, just basically goes north, use a little bit of speed, little wiggle, but nothing major. Just the maximum amount of yards you can go get. Cool. That's check the box number 1, that he could be more effective than Freddie Swain. What I liked about the second one is that he calls a fair catch, and you're like, wait, you're saying a fair catch isn't in? It is, in the sense that he's not pressing. He doesn't feel like he's got to go play hero ball to go prove something. The guy's breaking down right in front of him. He calls fair catch. He does the right thing, gets it easy, and gets off the field. So it was just like when he had a couple of yards, boom, he's gone. When it was way too risky, fair catch, get off the field. It's easy. We've seen people even like Earl Thomas back in the day, if you remember that little,
or Cade Johnson, if you don't have that deep of a memory.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. If you don't want to go that far back, exactly. Who was the guy that only did the fair catches? Brian. Not Roberts.
Brian.
What was it? Someone's got to be able to pull that for us. Yeah, he only did. I mean, that was it. He could have like 4 or 5 yards in front of him. He only did fair catches. Didn't matter.
He always fair caught the ball. It was his job.
So I guess what we're saying here is hit the one in the middle, right? And be like, hey, a little bit of daylight, use your talent. He did. No daylight, be smart. He was. So good. I want to see more from him as a wide receiver. He almost had a Paul Richardson-esque catch in the back of the end zone, trying to go over the defender. That ball could have been intercepted too. He almost had that, but he gets carried out of bounds, basically. I think he'll have a positive year. And if it has to start somewhere and it starts with special teams and punt returns, fine. If he makes a difference doing that week 1, then at least it's a positive going forward for him, so that he can kind of his juices going, because we need that dude in our offense.
Getting 18 yards on a punt return is cool, but sometimes it's okay to be Brian Walters.
That's it. Nice. All right. Awesome. Good job pulling it. If that was you or others, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You got there. And
I know how to use Google, Clinton. Come on. Give me some credit.
I love it. All right. Let's get to the last out. Why don't we? All right. Let's see. Okay. So this last out was just a little bit of a little reminiscent of me, of seeing a little too much of like the Trey Flowers style.
You don't want to see Trey Flowers
ever
on the field.
I don't want to see Trey Flowers ever. So this last one's going to go, it's Q2. So quarter 2, 4:30 to go in the game. We're up 13-3. So we got a pretty nice little lead baking. It's 3rd and 4. And the Cowboys, I think, are on their own 40, or again at the 40-yard line, maybe even our 40. It's okay. That's okay. Empty backfield, 5 wide. Now, the play before, Kobe Bryant makes a really nice play, follows the guy well downfield, that actually bonks him on the helmet, if you remember that. Like, beautiful coverage, and Blair was going to be there to make a hit if it didn't go off his helmet. Nice coverage. This play, like, exact opposite. He's way back to start the route, and the guy just literally runs like it's 3rd and 4. The guy runs to the sticks. He even runs a little over the sticks, like 5 yards, turns around. And Kobe is like
still on his heels. He's still on his heels when the pass is thrown.
Thank you. Again, I'm always encouraging people to go, if you go back, go check that out. He literally is he's still backpedaling when the pass is being thrown. And there's like a 4-yard gap. And it's like, dude, it's 3rd and 4. It's 3rd and 4. And it's getting down to late in the second half here. Like, we need to make a play. So it was way too Trey Flowersy for me. He's done some nice things. I think he's a good ball player, but the out is going to be right on number 8, man. Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. On sometimes, when you're on the punt team, it's okay to be Brian Walters. It's never okay to be Trey Flowers. So
exactly.
On 3rd and 4, he's a rookie, and it's still just the 3rd game of the preseason.
Yes.
And I don't want to see it, but I guess if I'm going to see it, I guess preseason is when I want to see it, and not in the regular season. There we go.
Yeah, it's a better time to see it. And and you said it very well, so I don't need to repeat it. I I don't know. I think it may be a slightly more interesting or slightly more. I know it's adjacent or like a jumping off point from there is who gets to start at the nickel, and is it Coleman? Did Coleman do enough? Has Coleman's game degraded since we had him and then he left, or do you just go youth movement and say, you know what? Let's just roll Brian out there and understand that sometimes there's going to be some of these Trey Flowers moments until there's not. What do you have a take on that?
I would go based on some of the other things that I saw from Coleman. I think I'm okay with going with Kobe initially. I've seen enough that I would like to see him get more reps and be out there on the field and playing against top talent. I feel like that helps his growth more. Just like you hear from any team that drafts a quarterback early on in the first half of the first round of the draft. Like they want to see their quarterback out there getting reps to see if he can be the guy. And I think the same goes for corner too. I want to see him out there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's again, we talked about entertainment and more fun. And in this kind of season coming up, like, yeah, let's go full, let's take this thing to plaid, go full youth movement and see what happens. Because if we get to the point where by week 6, week 7, week 8, these guys are starting to turn that corner already. Number one, it sets you up so much better for next year. And on the off chance that things are really starting to gel, well, you got a whole second half of football, man. Like a lot can happen, in the NFL, where you think a team's an absolute lock to win a division or an absolute lock to make the playoffs, and then an injury or just a really poor start away, and they're not, and a slot opens up, and it happens every single year. So I won't quote, the old QB with what he might say about that, but we'll just move on. We have one more in. So we get to, we start with the out, we end with an in.
You get to close with an in.
Yeah, we close with an in. We close our preseason. We go 0-3, but we get to close this thing out with an in. So why don't we get to it? All right. Okay, so this guy, again, we're talking about must make 53, and we're not talking about Myles Adams, and we're not talking about Alton Robinson. Must make 53. Quarter 1, 6:35 to go, 1st and 10. This is after Drew Lock's first interception. Kind of sucks, we have to say, after his first interception, because there was 3 on the day. Dallas is right at the 50-yard line, and let's see, it's 3-0 at this point. We're still up, and so they do a quick bubble screen. Essentially, this trips left. They're going left to right on the screen, and they throw a quick little bubble screen to Tolbert. And Tolbert, by the way, it's like you might not know Tolbert yet, and that's okay. Like some people don't follow, the whole league, or they don't play fantasy where people are chirping about Tolbert because Gallup's going to be out for a while, and obviously they lost Amari Cooper, so it's like CeeDee Lamb, and then this guy is supposed to be their number 2. So Tolbert gets the ball. He's got a lot of talent, and what happens is, man, number 30, Michael Jackson, like he sets up his wide receiver very, very well. He turns his guy, he gets his guy's butt towards the sidelines, turns him, sheds him, comes up and makes a super short tackle at the legs for only a 3-yard gain. We've gotten burnt so many times on different various screens and quick hitting plays. To see Michael Jackson recognize technique to get his guy, turned away and then make a short tackle on a dude who's going to be Dallas's number 2. It's not a scrub. Really nice play, and maybe just like a collective look into this guy's preseason and a reason he's going to make this roster, man.
Yeah, well, this is not an in for the Cowboys wide receiver. I feel like you're going all over this team, this guy from the opposite team in this in, Clinton, when it should be going to Michael Jackson, who, you described it well, how he came off his block. The Cowboys, they really set up this particular screen really well to where if they're able to hold all their blocks, then it's going to be a big time play. It was talking about Coleman. He was the other guy, the other corner in the slot position who, man, I don't know who was blocking him, whatever the wide receiver was that was out there. Yep. He tries a spin move on the wide receiver. He ends up getting carried down the field by his guy. And so if you contrast Justin Coleman's ability or inability to try and make that particular play with Michael Jackson's, who got off his dude and did make the play, kept it to only 3 yards. I mean, it makes it easy for me to see which one of those guys deserves to be out there and playing come week 1.
Yeah, I love it, dude. And that's a perfect way to end, the 3-3 after the preseason, because it's like, it is that whole, it's that dichotomy and who's going to play. And again, we're not here to rag on one guy, or, we don't need to poop on one guy to
unless
somebody,
it's Trey Flowers,
who is no longer here. But we don't got to do that in order to lift somebody up. But the contrast was stark. Michael Jackson, he played and he balled out all preseason. He played so well. So to the point where I'm very, very comfortable if he is our CB2, if he's starting versus Denver, I'm fine with it.
I want to be saying, man, remember the time that Trey Flowers was the corner?
I thought you were going to go with the remember the time Michael Jackson, reference there. And I didn't know where you were going, but either way, the good news is now I've got Michael Jackson, the pop artist, remember the time in my brain.
And that was intentional.
Good. Gotcha. Well, then I was correct. I was thinking the right way. So, but man, oh man, what up? For those who don't know, if you're a little bit younger, not that you don't know Michael Jackson, of course you know Michael Jackson. However, you might not know the video, remember the time. Do yourself the favor, hop on YouTube after you subscribe to, the Seahawkers pod, and hit the like and subscribe, hit the bell, the whole thing already. Make sure you're getting the downloads too from the audio.
Then go back and watch some 1980s Seahawks football and watch linebacker Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Tear it up with the 80s Seahawks.
This is a beautiful Michael Jackson sandwich we got cooking here. And in that 92 video, you got Arsenio Hall, you got Magic Johnson. Oh, I forget the beautiful woman's name. Oh man. She's a model. She's like Cleopatra in the video or something like that. Gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
So, but remarkably beautiful video. So cool. It's got all sorts of cameos. So if you like pop culture, you like sports, if you like yourself some MJ, remember the time, hit it, because it's worth the view.
And after you do that, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. So when we do go live, like we went live, if you didn't catch the show live, you will now know that we did this show live. And if you're hearing this after the fact, I'm sorry you missed it, but we're out there. Hit the go to YouTube. Get notified.
Not hard, people. And it's been a lot of fun. And I think the way to frame it's been a heck of a preseason. We had a good preseason. You know what? I mean, you, me, Adam,
with the show. I mean,
Mr. Phil,
the whole losing, winning is better than losing.
Wilson Khan. Yeah. But I'm feeling good about our preseason, Brandon. Sure. And even if we're 0-3 and we went 0-3, dude, I just circle back. One place to land it is, we are starting a game versus the Broncos where our left tackle and right tackle were acquired in this year's draft.
Yeah.
Absolute foundational draft that we just had. And we get to go watch those guys from the first snap, the offensive snap of the game, hopefully go do their thing and blow some people off the ball and get some, orange crush pancakes as we beat the Denver Broncos.
Yes. I know we started with an out 3 straight times. Oh wait, no, we didn't, because you flipped it over and we did 6 straight ends for one of the losses.
I had no choice.
I want to be starting the next show that we do, Clinton, with an in.
And with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.